Organizing exhibitions is among the most visible work that the museum undertakes. Typically, organizing exhibitions such as this takes several years. However, we were able to organize Stories from Storage in just 9 months during a global pandemic. The fact that we were able to do so is a testament to the talents and resourcefulness of our CMA staff. Organizing exhibitions is often an untold story. Together, we will share behind-the-scenes glimpses of how Stories from Storage came together. When the pandemic upended our calendar for exhibitions, we aspired to create a collective project that would mine fascinating works of art in our storerooms while simultaneously inviting multiple points of view. Our director, Bill Griswold, suggested that we curate an exhibition that would recreate the experience of visiting an art fair. At an art fair, one may visit every single dealer who is exhibiting, seeing works of art as diverse as oil paintings, drawings, jewelry, Asian porcelains, and Greek and Roman antiquities. Much of the experience is left up to the visitor. You may return numerous times, lingering over a few objects that are of interest to you personally, or take in as much as you can on a single visit. For Stories from Storage, we began by asking each of our curators to consider works of art in storage within their realm of expertise and to select a small group of objects to tell a story that sparked their imagination. Each of the 20 stories are highly individual. When I was thinking about my story, I knew that I would devote my narrative to an aspect of the CMA's outstanding collection of drawings. One of the reasons I love drawings is because they offer a glimpse into the artist's creative process and imagination. I selected a group of 16 sketches that features numerous elements artfully arranged on a sheet of paper. Such drawings are known as mise en page, which in French means placement on a page. Among the 16 drawings in my story, you'll find a study by Raphael, which relates to several of the artist's paintings of the Madonna and Child. My story ends with a drawing by the 19th century French artist Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres that he made in preparation for a series of stained glass windows for a church. In this drawing, Ingres emulated the way that the Renaissance master Raphael used mise en page. I think you'll enjoy the personal, reflective nature of each of these stories and that you'll discover new favorites within the CMA's collection, finding works of art that you may never have seen and discovering perspectives that are thought-provoking and new.
Design at the Cleveland Museum of Art incorporates exhibition designers, graphic designers, a lighting designer, mount makers, cabinet makers, and other production staff. Each play an integral part in the production of an exhibition. The cabinet maker builds display furniture for each exhibition and ensures they meet conservation and display standards. Mount makers are responsible for the creation of structures that provide unobtrusive physical support and security of objects while on display. Mark, our lighting designer, focuses lighting appropriate for each exhibition. He considers aesthetics and limiting light levels to conserve works on paper, textiles, photos, and other light-sensitive materials. Our team works with curators to make certain our plans meet the curatorial vision and meet the needs of our visitors. And in partnership with teams across the museum, the installation schedule is set. Consideration for construction, case building, gallery painting, and preparation of objects was necessary to complete each story. The work of graphic designers and production staff helped define the identity of the exhibition. Their work includes introduction walls, banners, and our interpretive tools such as didactics and labels to help reinforce the idea of opening doors and peeking into storage. Banners were used in a creative way at the entry of the exhibition to allow a glimpse into galleries. One story that had a particularly interesting design and installation approach was the Lenore Tawney postcard collages.
Collections management is responsible for the care, storage, and display of the museum's collection. We ensure best practices are maintained while handling, moving, and presenting the collection.
One of the areas where we preserve works of art is our photography storage area, which has both cool and cold storerooms. Black and white photographs are stored at 60 degrees, and color photographs are set at 40 degrees, prolonging the life of both types, but particularly color photographs. Temperature and humidity levels are monitored in this space 24 hours a day.
Throughout the exhibition's development, we coordinated movement and tracked locations of all the artwork, taking works of art on trips to conservation, photography, and to their final homes in the galleries. Each day of installation, our art handlers started work in the galleries, laying out the artwork according to the floor plan. Curators and designers arrived to review object placement and to adjust. Throughout the month-long installation, the registrars assured we all stayed on schedule. This is the first time that CMA installed Plywood Sunset Leaning by Sarah Z., featured in Curator of Contemporary Art Emily Liebert's story. Extra care was taken to document the installation process.
Conservation also had a hand in presenting Plywood Sunset Leaning, as this work also demonstrated how difficult it can be for conservators to maintain artists' original intent while also planning for and making some necessary physical changes to the work. Just one example is the blue rayon twisted cord that conservation had to source in case we ran out of it. While the artist approved us to supply a new cord if it matched the one she used, it was surprisingly difficult to find just the right size and color. Our conservation team closely collaborated with the curators in selecting objects that could be safely presented in the exhibition. The conservation team conducted visual examinations and even further analyses with X-rays, multispectral light, or other methods like neutron activation and thermoluminescence testing. Whenever an object needed some help, our conservators assisted. Conservator of paintings Dean Yoder removed the discolored varnish on the painting Haverstraw Bay by Sanford Robinson Gifford, transforming the viewer's experience of it from the mundane to the sublime. Robin Hansen, Associate Conservator of Textiles, discussed with Curator Sue Berg whether to remove non-original stitches closing the neckline slits on several saltillos. We decided to reopen the neck since it helped us understand how those saltillos would have been worn. We also have a high-tech laser which effortlessly and safely removed dirt and grime. This was an opportunity to showcase objects that were not yet treated. An example is the polychrome terracotta relief from the workshop of Giovanni della Robbia. This object requires a multi-year treatment and research project in order to display it as the artist had intended. However, since the story by the curator involved telling the object's history, the conservation team was able to conduct a much shorter treatment to stabilize it so that it could be moved safely from storage to the gallery. The conservation team enriched the stories the curators told by creating additional display content. Sarah Ribbons, Associate Conservator of East Asian Paintings, created a case of tools and materials used in Japanese paintings conservation. For this small terracotta mold for a male head, Associate Conservator of Objects Colleen Snyder worked with curator Seth Pevnick to create a 3D print to show the positive image the mold would have created when it was used. We relied on the expertise of our photographers to carry out photogrammetry so that the fragile mold itself did not have to be used. Our conservators closely examined each of the approximately 300 objects that you will see in the exhibition to ensure they could withstand the rigors of being mounted for display.
This exhibition, like all of our exhibitions, aims to create an inclusive experience for all visitors, one that highlights the joy of discovery and making connections across time and place. Stories from Storage highlights the breadth and diversity of the CMA's collection, and it tells us that there's more than one way to look at a work of art. What I'm most excited about this exhibition is the range of stories that we can tell through art. As interpreters, we work in collaboration with curators to articulate the big ideas, those threads that connect the 19 stories in this exhibition. The big ideas highlight our shared humanity so that we can each find connections to the works of art on view. In this exhibition, there are two big ideas. Museum collections contain a multitude of stories, and there are multiple stories to tell through museum collections. This exhibition provides the opportunity to not only see rarely seen objects, but to expand our understanding of art and to experience it in new ways. At its best, interpretation provides multiple ways to consider works of art. We achieve this through the text that is included in the galleries, the prompts and activities for visitors, as well as the digital resources we create, such as our ArtLens app, your personal guide to exploring this exhibition and our collection.
The digital team creates awe-inspiring digital experiences that help our visitors dive deeper into the collection. Part of my role is coordinating these initiatives, and really one of my favorite parts is creating engaging digital tools for our audiences to use. For this exhibition, we couldn't create an audio guide in the way we normally do, but with all the stories to tell and the number of objects, we knew we wanted a way to showcase all the rich content. We saw an opportunity and wanted to do it in the ArtLens app. The guide is built into the app's map itself. When you open the app and go to the gallery section, just head down to the lower level where the show is. You'll find every section is labeled in order, so you can head straight to whatever part your heart desires. And because the guide is in the app, it's available for iPhones, iPads, and Androids, so those with access to a smartphone can use it. To explore the entire exhibition from start to finish, just find the start pin and tap it to see some instructions. Then, swipe left to go on to the next section. First you'll hear from our director as he introduces the show, then keep swiping to move on to the next part. At the top of each section's page, play the video to hear from the curator who selected the artwork for that section. It's kind of like having 19 curators in your pocket. Read more about each section and then scroll down to see every single artwork there. You can go to each work's page and read all about them, see the additional content, and read interesting facts. You can keep track of all your favorites by tapping the heart next to the title. You can even text a link of what you find to your family, your friends, your neighbor, your mom, whoever you like.
The exhibition is now open at the CMA. Stories from Storage is free to all members. We hope you'll visit often and on each visit discover new stories from storage.